of our three-game series featuring the National League's Western Division champion San Francisco Giants and your Milwaukee Brewers. And welcome back to County Stadium. A quick turnaround after last night's Brewer win. Matt Vasgersian and Bill Schroeder. Indeed, a Brewer win. They have made it 2 in a row early this season, looking for their second consecutive against the Giants here this afternoon. A great afternoon at County Stadium. A winning team on the field, a first-place team on the field. What more could you want in a baseball game?
Well, the Brewers really played a nice game last night. They got the pitching, they got the hitting, they got the defense. Everything really seems to be coming in place for the team, at least in the first couple of weeks in the season, and you can't ask for a better day than we have today. $1 bleachers, $3 general admission. How can it get any better than this?
Flashback just 8, 9, 10 hours ago to last night's ball game. A Brewer victory over the Giants in the first meeting between a Giants team and a team from Milwaukee since 1965. Marquise Grissom got the offense going. He continues his hot hitting, runs his hitting streak to 12 with this 2-run double in the third. That made it 2-1 Brewers. Mark Loretta took advantage of his first start at shortstop last night. He poked a 2-run double of his own to left center. That gave the Brewers some additional room with which to work. At that point, it was all Doug Jones. He got a little help from his friends here. A great diving catch by Darren Jackson, making his first start last night. And the Brewers would roll to a 5-2 win a night ago. Close chapter 1 of this story between the Brewers and Giants and open up chapter 2 this afternoon. And you find a really good veteran pitching matchup on the mound. Right-hander Orel Hershiser, the veteran, gets the nod for the Giants, and right-hander Paul Wagner for the Brewers.
Well, Wags has struggled at least early in his start so far this year. He really turned it around in the second half of the ball game against the Mets. He's got a rather high earned run average, 0-1. He really didn't deserve the loss against the Mets. Orel Hershiser, on the other hand, has been pitching like a kid again. 7 innings, only 1 run against the St. Louis Cardinals in his last start. Orel's got it all working for him.
There is nothing right in the baseball universe when Dusty Baker manages, Ron Perinoski is the pitching coach, and Orel Hershiser is the starting pitcher of, not the Dodgers, but the San Francisco Giants. It's a wacky business. Brewers and Giants, game 2 of this series from County Stadium. We're glad to have you with us on MSC this afternoon. Do stay with us. Starting lineups and opening pitch right after this. Rendition of this afternoon's national anthem. Welcome back to County Stadium. Matt Vasgersian, Bill Schroeder, and producer-director Wade Rowland. We are ready for baseball. Game 2 of this series with the Brewers and the San Francisco Giants. Game 1 going the Brewers' way a night ago. And Game 2 features a pitching matchup that really holds no surprises as far as the Brewers' lineup is concerned, with Orel Hershiser on the mound for, yes, San Francisco. Say it isn't so in Los Angeles. First things first, let's get to the Giants starting lineup against Paul Wagner. This is how Dusty Baker lines them up. Darrell Hamilton, the center fielder, will lead things off. The former Brewer off to a good start this year for the Giants. Bill Miller at third base, bats number 2. Left fielder Barry Bonds in the 3 spot. Hitting cleanup, second baseman Jeff Kent. At first base, JT Snow hits number 5. In right, Stan Javier's in the 6 hole. Catcher Brian Johnson bats number 7. Ray Sanchez, the former Cub, former Yankee, will get the start at short and bat number 8. And pitcher Orel Hershiser rounds out the lineup, batting number 9.
One change defensively for Phil Garner's troops on defense this afternoon. Jose Valentin back at shortstop. He had last night off. Mark Loretta got the nod last night. Mike Matheny behind the plate and making his 3rd consecutive day game start, right-hander Paul Wagner.
Paul Wagner last started on the 12th of April here at County Stadium against the New York Mets. And the longtime Brewer fan, the Milwaukee native, made his first ever start to the tune of a loss, 6-4 against New York, his last time out. The weather here this afternoon, a comfortable 59 degrees, a little bit of a wind, and I'll tell you, when the sun peeks its head over those clouds, it is absolutely gorgeous in the grandstand this afternoon. That's a deceivingly warm 59-degree day. Umpires for this afternoon's Larry Poncino calls balls and strikes. First to third, it's Steve Ripley, Gary Darling, and Mike Winters. Lineup cards having been exchanged. Umpires taking their positions, and it's time for Paul Wagner to take the mound for this his third start this year. Again, Wagner last started on the 12th of April against the Mets. He pitched well. Had some trouble through the middle third, but ended up going a strong 6 2/3. Easily could have been the winner that day.
Well, the Brewers lost the game by a couple of runs, but the 2 runs scored on a home run from John Olerud off of Mike Myers out of the bullpen. Wagner allowed a leadoff double in that inning, followed by the home run, and that's how you see his 0-1 record. 11 innings, 11 hits, not too bad, but the walks have to be reduced somewhat. Wagner more of a control pitcher now than he was after the elbow surgery. Good sinker, good hard fastball, and a good slider. And has been working on a changeup.
You might recall that Mets game here at County Stadium last weekend. Wagner was removed in the 7th inning in favor of left-hander Mike Myers with a runner on. John Olerud was a batter. He came to the plate, promptly hit a 2-run home run that would make a loser out of Wagner and the Brewers. So Wag still looking for win number 1 this year. As you take a look at the fine penmanship. We've been talking about it all year long. Doug Manzolino with some of the best handwriting. I'll tell you what.
Isn't that something?
Ladies, when you're getting ready to send your daughters off to marriage, give Doug Manzolino a call.
And he's done that.
Oh, has he?
He's done that.
Did you ask him about that?
I was talking to him in Montreal about his penmanship, and he said he just picked it up. He wrote out so many lineup cards that he figured he'd pick up a couple of calligraphy pens, and that is the result right there. So Doug Manzolino is up for business if you're getting married. Yeah.
Well, Phil Garner and Don Rowe have been very happy with the starting pitching performances thus far in 1998. 1 through 5. It has really been a strength of the Brewers. Turned it around nicely after a tough spring training. It left some question marks in the minds of many. But as soon as the bell rang, the Brewer staff has been there to answer it. So time for Paul Wagner to go to work on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon. Hamilton, Miller, and Bonds for the Giants.
Leading off for the Giants, center fielder number 5, Darrell Hamilton.
Hamilton was 2 for 3 with a walk last night against Jose Mercedes and company. Brewers starting play today, 10-5 atop the National League Central Division by a half game over St. Louis, a game and a half over the Cubs. Giants starting play at 9-7, losers of their last 2. 9-7 record, good for second place behind red-hot San Diego in the National League West.
Yeah, who won again. Well, Darrell Hamilton has been doing a pretty good job getting on base in front of this power-packed Giants lineup. 9 walks, batting just under .290. Darrell's a pretty good leadoff guy, decent speed. Nothing that's going to be overwhelming. Good base runner. It's going to be Wagner's job this afternoon to keep the first 2 guys in this order off the bases.
Line right to shortstop. Valentine there for it, 1 away.
Anytime you can get Barry Bonds to come up with nobody on and a couple of outs, you're doing yourself a big service. Hamilton hits it hard. Tailing fastball goes right with it, but right to Jose at shortstop.
So 1 away now for Bill Miller. He has started the season 17 for his first 53. You saw the 2 home runs for Miller. They came during the same game. He is one of 3 Giants with a pair of home runs, and as powerful as this team is, guys like Bonds, Kent, Snow, yet to really crank it up as far as the extra base hits are concerned this year.
And you'd really expect Miller to get some pretty good pitches to hit, particularly with runners on base. Most pitchers would rather throw to him as opposed to Bonds. And if you're a hitter in a lineup, particularly a young hitter, it's not bad to have a guy like Barry Bonds in the hole behind you. A lot of fastballs. There he is.
Tried to check the swing and commits. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes now.
Now there's the pitch that Wagner has to have early in the ball game. The tight slider goes down in the zone. Good pitch.
2-2 to Miller's low. So it's gone full to Bill Miller. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Wagner out of the wind. Here's a payoff on 3-2. Grounded to the right side. Great stop by Vina. Can't recover and make the throw in time, however, and Miller's going to beat it out for a single.
Well, good range by Fernando going over toward the hole at first base, but unable to come up with the baseball after he knocks it down. Nice play just to do that. Watch Fernando. He's going to knock it down just in the webbing of his glove and then can't find the handle. Like counting pennies after a while. He just can't grab it anymore.
Counting pennies. I like that. Can I use that?
Yeah.
Here's Bonds now. Barry Bonds last night in his versus Milwaukee debut, 0 for 3 with an RBI, drove in a run with a sacrifice fly, his second at bat against Mercedes last night. 0-1.
Jose Mercedes did a pretty good job last night. Barry Bonds swinging on a 3-0 pitch. Mercedes threw him the changeup and a weak ground ball to first base. Mercedes did a nice job with Bonds with men on.
Now Wagner in front of Bonds, a ball and 2 strikes. Well, when you look at the scorecard from last night's ball game and you analyze and you try to figure out how and why and what for, you look at a big offer between Bonds, Kent, Snow, and Javier, the 3, 4, 5, 6 batters for Dusty Baker's Giants last night. They went a combined 0 for 14.
Yeah, that's what scares you a little bit about this afternoon's ball game. You know those 3 guys aren't going to be quiet for very long. Barry Bonds, normally a very slow starter, didn't really get it cranked up till June, but ended up with 40 homers, 100 ribbies. Every year.
We certainly don't want to make it sound like the Giants' offense has been non-existent. They're 3rd in the National League in team batting average, but near the bottom in the power numbers.
And that won't last. Those guys will get it cranked up. Of course, Candlestick Park, not exactly your home run haven normally.
Especially this time of year, the wind blowing in off the bay. The Brewers will be visiting San Francisco a week from today. A weekend series in San Francisco that starts on Friday. Ball and 2 strikes on Bonds. Matheny sets up outside. 2-2 now. This is still the early stages of a stretch where the Brewers will play their next week and a half worth of games against the Giants or the Dodgers. There's a 2-2 home to Bonds, swung on and wrapped foul. Way foul.
Well, normally left-handed hitters are low ball hitters. Barry Bonds is, but you can't tomahawk a high fastball any better than that. Up into the upper deck and in right field, foul by plenty. Very quick. Barry Bonds very quick to the baseball. Good eye at the plate.
Still 2 balls and 2 strikes from the stretches. Wagner on 2-2. Grounded to first base. Jaha will have but 1 play. That's on Bonds at the bag. He thought about trying for Miller, but had a little trouble with the transfer. So 1 away. Miller to second. Check that. 2 away. Miller to second.
I think you see Jaha a little disgusted with himself, but once you lose the handle the first time, you forget about making the throw. Good pitch by Wagner, sinker away. Watch Jaha. Wants to get the handle. Nope. Get the easy out. You get a man on second with 2 outs instead of throwing the ball into left field.
So 2 away. The Giants with a runner in scoring position now for Jeff Kent. Kent 0 for 4 a night ago. What a start this guy got off to last April. 26 RBI last April. And he never really slowed down.
Yeah, he's off to a pretty good start this year. 13 ribbies. Month just about half over. Not a bad middle of this order. You got Barry Bonds, you got Kent, JT Snow, Stan Javier, all very good hitters. 3 switch hitters in the middle of this lineup.
One and one on Kent. He misses inside, 2 balls and a strike. Jeff Kent last year getting off to the great run-producing start with all the RBIs in April. As we mentioned, he never really slowed down. Struggled a little bit in September of last year with just a .216 batting average, but he was still driving in runs, and that was what was important in the stretch drive for the Giants. Managed 16 runs batted in during that period where he had just a .216 average.
Well, and that's what's important. Runs scored and RBIs, the 2 most important statistics in this game. Whether it comes from a home run, a sacrifice fly, a ground ball to second base with a man on third base. Drive him in and score him. That's what it's all about.
2 and 1 on Jeff Kent with 2 away and a runner at second. Big swing and a miss there. Count even at 2 and 2.
Now that was the tighter, sharper breaking slider that time by Paul Wagner. We saw the big breaker to Billy Miller. There's that one. Doesn't break a whole lot, just enough to get you off balance.
Two balls and 2 strikes on Kent now. Pitch from Wagner, misses low, and he has run full to Jeff Kent, 3 and 2. It's been a problem for Wags in his first couple of starts, working deep in the counts, as the walk totals would indicate. Brought that walk total down nicely his last start, walked just 2, but 8 over 2 starts, a little higher than where Paul wants it. Full count on Jeff Kent, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the payoff. Jeff Kent played collegiately at University of California, Berkeley. About 20 miles away from 3Com Park in San Francisco. Very familiar in the Bay Area. He's got the 3-2 count that remains against Wagner. Couldn't hold up. The strikeout leaves a runner at second base, and it's a scoreless first turned in by Milwaukee native Paul Wagner after a half inning of baseball from County Stadium. Giants 0, Brewers coming to bat.
You've always known.
They've started left, Matheny and Wagner to follow for the Brewers today.
And one change defensively for San Francisco behind the 39-year-old right-hander Hershiser. Ray Sanchez at shortstop. Rich Aurelia was over there yesterday's ball game.
So Vigna, Cirillo, and Jaha for the Brewers against Hershiser. Here's a 0-1 home to Fernando, lined into left. Look at Fernando Vigna. Guy just has not stopped hitting since opening day.
Well, Mr. Consistency so far. He's got that stroke going down. He's going to pull the ball, go the other way. That's what you got to do from the left side against Hershiser. A sinking fastball, and Fernando goes right with it. The history of Hershiser against the Brewers anyway is you get him early. You certainly don't want to allow Hershiser to settle in. He gets continually stronger as the game goes on. There you see his numbers. Those numbers certainly good enough to have at least a couple of wins, but no records so far. I think I shortchanged Orel. He's 40 years old. His birthday was on April 16th, a couple of days ago.
40 years old in his 16th major league season. Still one of the best around. Jeff Cirillo now. And looking for his first National League victory since August 7th of '94 when he beat the Rockies as a member of the Dodgers. Past 3 years with the Cleveland Indians, 3 very good years for Hershiser, by the way. One of the things to look for this afternoon, based on Hershiser's last 3 seasons, each of which in the American League, are some rather inflated numbers. You're talking about guys like Vigna and Cirillo, who are each 7 for 18 lifetime against Orel Hershiser. In fact, when you go through the Brewers 1 through 8 this afternoon, this club is hitting .331 with 17 home runs against Orel Hershiser over the last 3 years.
Well, it looks good going in, doesn't it? The Brewers seem to really rise to the occasion against big-name, marquee-type pitchers.
Cirillo with a ball well hit to left. Bonds looking back, drifting to the fence. Good night now. Cirillo with his second career bomb against Orel Hershiser. 2-0 Brewers.
Now the crowd here at County Stadium showing his approval. Well, watch the pitch. Look at that fastball that Hershiser tried to get down and in, didn't do it, and Jeff Cirillo deposits it into left field. No sooner do you say it that the Brewers have had great success against Hershiser, and they take a 2-0 lead in the first inning.
Well, that's usually the kiss of death, isn't it? Hey, you were ready to slap me as soon as I said that. I saw you getting hostile over there.
Shaking my head. Why do you want to jinx him that way? No more. Do what you want.
All right. 2-0 on John Jaha. Jeff homered against Orel Hershiser last April in Cleveland. And for a guy that grew up in Southern California watching Hershiser spin his magic for the late 80s Dodgers, that was a very memorable home run for Cirillo. He's got another one here this afternoon, and there's ball 4 to Jaha.
Well, we talked about the fact when you have a veteran pitcher out there like a Hershiser, a control-type pitcher, more now than it was when he was a younger pitcher with the Dodgers. Very hard sinking fastball he used to have. Not as hard as it used to be. Sinks a little bit more, relies more on control and his breaking ball. When you got a guy like that relying on control, sometimes early in the game it's not there. That's when you've got to jump on it.
Here's Burnitz now. Jeremy was 2 for 4 yesterday. A couple of singles in his first 2 trips to the plate. 2-0 Brewers. The Cirillo home run, his second of the season. You know, you talk about the sinker with Orel Hershiser. And that was a pitch that he seemingly lost some confidence in last year, in particular in the postseason. He was roughed up a bit in the postseason with the Indians last year. Two and one on Burnitz.
Well, ordinarily, Hershiser is the guy to go to in postseason, but you mentioned he got roughed up a little bit. Has had a history of being a big-time pitcher in big-time situations. As you mentioned, in his 16th year.
And to build on that, Orel Hershiser the past number of seasons has really been tremendous in the second half. Got off to slow starts the past couple of years in Cleveland, but last year in particular, and everybody thought the Indians were going to go in the tank after some injuries to the pitching staff, Hershiser responded by going 7-1 in his 13 starts after the All-Star break. It's run full on Burnitz now, 3-2. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the first.
And this is very similar to the start Hershiser had in Houston on his first start of the year. Beat him up for, I believe it was 4 runs in the first inning, and then settled down.
3-2 to Burnitz, is swung on and missed. Jaha was running on the pitch. Nobody paying too much attention to JJ. That'll be scored as a stolen base. The strikeout recorded by Hershiser, 1 gone.
Well, JJ fools everybody by taking off. You don't expect Jaha to be stealing bases. Brian Johnson never saw him. A lot of times with a left-handed hitter up there, the catcher really has no idea if he's running. You can see Johnson paying no attention to Jaha, and he's able to stand up, but gives it the old head-first slide just for good measure.
Sure.
Let everybody know I played today.
Here's Grissom now. Marquise riding a 12-game hitting streak. He ran it to 12 with a 2-run third-inning double last night. And got the scoring started for the Brewers a night ago. They would never look back. Grounded to third base for Bill Miller. Gets there and throws him out.
Well, that's what the right-handed hitters are going to have to try to avoid this afternoon against Hershiser. You try and pull that pitch on the outside part of the plate. A lot of ground balls to the left side of the infield. Watch where the pitch is. A sinker running down in on his hands, and when Hershiser's on, you're going to see a lot of ground balls. And the later he gets into the game, the more fatigued that arm gets, the better that ball sinks.
Here's Jose Valentin now. Talk about a guy who has someone's number. Similar to the case with Moise Alou, who touched up Hershiser for a World Series home run last year and got him on opening day this year. Jose Valentin has had tremendous success against Hershiser. 5 home runs lifetime. Make it 6 if you add the dinger he got in spring training this year. Of course, those don't count.
They count to Valentin. There's some pitchers that hitters like to face, not because they throw pitches that they like to hit, but they see the ball very well. Obviously, Valentin sees the ball out of the hand of Hershiser very early. And when you do that, you get a good look at it.
Here's a 3-0 home to Jose. Swung on, popped up, slicing towards the stands. That'll get in the seats. Last year, that 5th of the 5 home runs for Valentin against Hershiser came in the second half of the season at Cleveland. And at the time, we were handed a note by the Indians PR people informing us that Jose Valentin has hit more home runs against Orel Hershiser than any other American League opponent.
Yeah. And you know, Phil Garner knows that. He gave him the green light on 3-0. Jose's been struggling a little bit as of late.
Ball 4. Second walk of the inning by Hershiser.
You know, a lot of times a manager, when he's got a hitter up there that has been having some troubles, give him the go-ahead to swing on 3-0, particularly when he has the history that Valentin has against Hershiser. Try and snap him out of that slump he's in.
So Jaha at second, Valentin at first, 2 away, 2 runs in for Darren Jackson, who takes a look at a strike.
You think Hershiser knew that Valentin hits him well?
I got to believe that somewhere in his mind he remembered that.
He didn't give him too much to hit there, did he?
No, certainly not. Oh, and 2, fastball catches the inside corner. Darren Jackson making his second consecutive start in left field. Been kind of a revolving door out there in the absence of David Nilsson. Hershiser taking considerable time to get on the same page of his catcher Brian Johnson. Grounded a shortstop for Sanchez. Goes to Kent. They force Valentin and retire the Brewers in the first, not without some damage. The Cirillo home run, his second of the year, has made it 2-0 Brewers as we head to the second. To the top of the second, JT Snow, Stan Javier, and Brian Johnson against Paul Wagner stake to a 2-0 lead on the Cirillo home run last half inning. Jeff's second of the year. 2 balls and no strikes on JT Snow. Make it 2-1 after a big swing and miss.
Looks like Wagner's got a pretty good fastball this afternoon. That's the second or third fastball that he's thrown by pretty good fastball hitters. That's a straight fastball right on the corner. Location doesn't hurt any.
Three and 1. JT Snow struggling a little bit. 0 for his last 8 over 2 games. His problem's just a microcosm of the problems this entire lineup is having. A big swing and a miss there. Giants hitters have really been stymied the past couple of games.
Let's see another fastball and a fastball count that Wagner's thrown by a Giants hitter. Good zip, good pop today.
Full count pitch home. Fouled away. Giants batters hitting just 157 over their last 2 ball games.
Ouch.
Right on the instep there.
Yeah, right off the toe. Yeah, they run into some pretty good pitching. Kevin Brown a couple of nights ago. Mercedes was throwing the ball very well yesterday.
On 3-2 to Snow, line to Jaha. Times the leap nicely. 1 away.
Looked like he took a little bit off of that one. Had JT out in front. Jaha almost mistimed the leap. He got it on his way down. Well, a good pitch by Paul Wagner. Out on the end of the bat a little bit. Watch Jaha. There, he got it. Kind of hanging there, wasn't he?
Like a fadeaway jumper.
Yeah.
Stan Javier now with 1 away. Well, despite the past couple of games being rough ones offensively for San Francisco, that one's lined past Vina into right. Javier's aboard with the second Giants hit of the afternoon.
Well, the old cliche, it's a game of inches. The inches were in the favor of the Brewers against JT Snow, not against Stan Javier. Fernando Vina, if he's got a glove that it's about another inch long, he might have made the catch on this baseball. Fernando uses a very small glove at second base. Most second basemen do. That one was just out of his reach.
1 out, 1 on for Brian Johnson now. The small second baseman's glove. Something made popular by a former Giant second baseman, Joe Morgan.
Joe Morgan.
Had that little oven mitt he used to wear on his glove hand.
Yeah, Fernando uses a small glove, but not near as small as Joe Morgan used to use. Boy, barely as big as his hand.
Nothing in 1 on Brian Johnson.
There it is. The second baseman, they use a very small glove because the transfer to get the ball out of the glove on the double play is very important. Shortstop can use a normal size glove, but the pivot at second base is such where you've got to get the ball out of the glove very quickly. You can't have any trouble finding the baseball in a deep pocket glove. But Fernando's is unusually small.
Nothing in 2 on Brian Johnson. One away, a runner on for the Giants. Brewers on top of San Francisco 2-0 here in the second. What do you think of Joe Morgan? What else do you think of?
Fernando Vina's glove?
Beside from Fernando Vina's glove. What do you think of when you think of Joe Morgan? Don't you always think of John Miller and Joe Morgan?
John Miller, yeah, he's here too, isn't he?
Kind of neat.
Yeah.
John Miller here, the voice of the San Francisco Giants in his second year, calling Giants baseball after flying the Orioles coop. 2 strikes on Johnson now.
Well, the Brewers thinking Stan and Javier are going to try and steal a base. Javier's got good speed, not the speed that he had when he broke in with the Yankees a few years ago, but still a good base runner. Down around the bottom of the order, you'd expect maybe the Giants want him in scoring position.
It's really the key to Javier on the bases. He's a great base runner, picks his spots very well. Last year he was successful in 25 of 28 attempts. Two and 2 now. It's funny when you talk about a guy like Joe Morgan. There are a lot of younger fans out there these days. that don't remember Joe Morgan as a ball player. They only know him as an analyst on ESPN.
Does a heck of a job at that too. Big red machine.
Two balls and two strikes on Brian Johnson now. Now Wagner's gone deep into the count early here. There goes Javier. And again, Johnson fouls it away. So Johnson back in to try it again. 2-2 this time is lined into right center. Javier will make the turn at second and head into third. Runners at the corners for the Giants on the one out knock by Brian Johnson.
Well, that was a heck of an at-bat by the young catcher. He was down in the count 0-2. A very good fastball hitter, has really started to adjust to the breaking pitches, and that's what Wagner gave him. Pretty good slider. Right on the outside corner, goes right with it and gets himself a base hit. That was a heck of an at-bat. And it wasn't a bad pitch.
So back-to-back one-out singles against Wagner now. And it's Ray Sanchez, the batter. Ray Sanchez has had some success against Wagner. 6 for 8 lifetime. You know, yesterday we were talking about the platoon situation at shortstop that the Giants are going through currently. And they're on their 4th opening day shortstop in as many years with the platoon between Sanchez and Orel. It's worked out very nicely for Dusty Baker this season. The tandem of Orel and Sanchez have hit a combined 400. And that's when one of them starts. Might be a little confusing. But when the starter between Orel or Sanchez is in there. Now let me say that again. Between Orel and Sanchez, whichever one of them starts, they're hitting a combined 400. How about that?
Not bad. Not bad from the shortstop. Well, Ray Sanchez hitting 462 coming in. 4 RBIs. Well, sometimes it takes 2 players to make up for one. Another nice block by Mike Matheny on a pitch down in the dirt, a man on third base. I contend that should be an RBI for the catcher.
Listen to you. 2-1 to Sanchez is fouled away. 2 balls and 2 strikes now.
Now I wonder if John Greenberg, the Brewers media relations director, keeps a stat on how many runs a catcher will save on a ball like that. No chance? No?
I can't believe you'd even ask me that.
That's something I think should be kept. I mean, Stats Inc. keeps stats on everything, don't they?
Greenberg had to open up a 3-ring binder the other day when I asked him what time it was. 2-2 to Sanchez, swung on it, hit pretty well into the corner and left. Jackson over there. He looks up. If it's fair, it's trouble, but it is a foul ball. Not by much.
Well, you talked about Ray Sanchez. And he's had some success against Paul Wagner. Sanchez not a big guy, but really tomahawks this pitch and just misses the foul pole. Had the distance.
Stays 2-2 on Sanchez. Runners at the corners with 1 away.
Well, now you got Greenberg mad at you.
Oh, what's new? Oh, we love Greeny. Got him swinging.
Well, a big strikeout for Paul Wagner and the Brewers. And a pretty pesky guy. A guy that's not easy to strike out. Pretty good contact hitter, but watch the location of the slider. Goes down off the plate. Looked like a fastball to Sanchez, and then it just disappeared. Good pitch.
So 2 gone now. Orel Hershiser, the pitcher, comes to the plate. He's hitless this year, 0 for 5. but has been known as one of the better hitting pitchers the past decade in the National League.
Well, Hershiser, a pretty good athlete. Can hit, can run a little bit.
4 handicap golfer.
Yeah.
That's what gets me. He's gotten better too. You know, the media guide lists him as a 6 handicap, but their game day notes have his handicap down to 4.
Jeez, he's serious about it.
He must have gotten a couple rounds in since opening day.
In the notes?
Yeah.
Man.
Hit on the ground towards shortstop. Good play by Valentin. The bare hand by Vina. They got the force at second. Well done up the middle. Nothing in the Giants' second. 1.5 gone at County Stadium this afternoon. 2-0 Brewers. You're watching Brewers baseball on MS.
What's this?
This is the Coca-Cola card. Good at thousands of places.
But not here.
Use it over and over. Just try and wear this thing out.
Okay. Let's see. Wash.
Rinse.
Dry it, okay? How's the Coke card?
It's clean. April fresh.
Play by Valentin and Vina up the middle on the ball hit by Hershiser. They make it look easy, don't they? Backhanded flip, a barehanded catch, and save the Brewers a run.
Highlight reel. Put it on the highlight reel. Cue it up for the sales presentation next year. Right there, that play. Love it. Matheny, Wagner in top of the order. Vina here in the Brewers half of the second on top of the Giants early 2-zip. Matt Vasgersian, Bill Schroeder, and producer-director Wade Rowland. Glad to have you with us on MSC this afternoon. Another telecast tomorrow in the finale of this series with the Giants and Brewers. And then the LA Dodgers in town for 3 starting on Tuesday.
Yeah, after an off day on Monday. Kind of a strange schedule this year. We talk about it all the time, but normally in April the Brewers have a lot of off days. We've only had, I should say the team has only had one. It has not been a rainout. That was the day after opening day in Atlanta.
There's a called strike 3 to Matheny. Second K for Hershiser today.
Well, pretty good pitch by Hershiser. This time it looks like a curveball that freezes Matheny. It looked like it was going to stay high, dropped right into the strike zone. That's a pitch you don't see Hershiser throw a whole lot, that big looping curveball. Every Sunday, 9 lucky kids participate in the Brewers on-field pregame ceremony with the players. Stop by participating Sears for an entry and more information on the Sears Major League Moment Contest.
0-1 on Paul Wagner. 1 for 5 with a bat in his hand this year. Make it a ball and a strike. You know, we talk about Orel Hershiser joining the Giants. Something that nobody ever thought would be possible. Orel Hershiser was really the poster boy for the 80s Dodgers. And as fans in baseball certainly know, there is no love lost between the Giants and Dodgers. Never has been, never will be.
Times have changed.
Crazy world.
Never would have seen that back in the 40s or 50s, would you?
Oh,
60s?
There is a serious imbalance in the baseball world. There were a lot of fans up there in Northern California that had a big problem with it. And Orel Hershiser has done a lion's share of public appearances, Kiwanis clubs, breakfast meetings, etc., to try to get himself into the good graces of the San Francisco fan. And it's really tough not to like the guy once you've heard him speak and been around him.
Well, he's a good player, good person. Does a lot for the community. Won't be long. 15, 20 wins, they'll start liking Orel.
Yeah, no question. They'll forget about that Dodger stuff in an awful hurry. 1-2 on Paul Wagner.
We're talking about 2 pretty good hitting pitchers in this game today. Hershiser, Paul Wagner. Wagner got a bunch of base hits in spring training, led the Brewer pitching staff. Matter of fact, probably had more hits than some of the position players in spring training. Had 5 hits.
2-2.
Phil Garner has said that from time to time in late innings in an emergency type situation, he may in fact pinch hit Wagner for a pitcher late in the game. That's how good of a hitter he is.
fouled away. Wagner doing a nice job hanging in there here against Hershiser. Orel Hershiser came very close to signing a free agent deal with the Giants 3+ years ago. The season he left Los Angeles and headed to Cleveland to the American League. There's a swing and a miss by Wagner, strike 3. A couple of strikeouts for Orel in the second. 2 gone for the top of the order now.
Well, pretty good sinking fastball by Hershiser that Brian Johnson couldn't hold on to. Thought for a minute that Wagner had foul tipped it, but nothing doing.
Here's Vina now, singled and scored in front of the Cirillo home run in the first. Swinging early, a fly ball to center. Darrell Hamilton is there for it. 3 up, 3 down against Hershiser in the second. Through 2 completed County Stadium this afternoon, Brewers on top of the Giants. Cirillo home run holding up through 2. It's an article in the San Francisco Chronicle yesterday about Darrell Hamilton's return to Milwaukee. Of course, this is not the first time he's been to County Stadium wearing a visiting uniform. Did that with the Texas Rangers a couple of years ago. Grounded a second for Vina. And Hamilton is the first casualty here in the third.
Well, when Darrell Hamilton left, he made no bones about his displeasure with the front office with the Milwaukee Brewers, and Darrell indicating that he questioned their lack of commitment to winning from time to time. Tough hop for Fernando on the Darrell Hamilton ground ball.
Bill Miller now.
But Darrell still has a lot of friends over in that Brewer dugout and clubhouse.
As one may expect with anybody who's played with Paul Molitor and Robin Yount, Darrell Hamilton called those 2 guys the best players he has ever played with or against.
I agree.
He said Robin Yount's the best athlete he'd ever played with, and Paul Molitor purely the best hitter he had ever played with. Miller trickles out to Jaha, who touches first, and quickly there are 2 away for Wagner in the third.
Left fielder, Barry Bond.
Well, Wagner able to get that ball on the ground here in the third inning. That sinker seems to be working much better and getting some early outs. Early in the count anyway. Pitcher needs a couple innings like that.
Here's Bonds now, hitless in the series, 0 for 4, including 1 hitless AB this afternoon. Yesterday we were talking, Bill, at length about how Barry Bonds can't really do anything right. Wherever he goes, he garners a lot of boos. He's always the center of controversy. And even when he tries to do something that is nothing but noble, as was the case this year, when he offered a portion of his salary deferred to go back to the Giants in order for them to pursue some free agents and maybe for some late season help, he even gets grief in those circumstances.
Yeah, thinking that somehow that he was trying to work that to his benefit. Well, you make the kind of money that Barry Bonds makes, and you put up the numbers that Barry Bonds puts up, and you've got to, I guess, subject yourself to a little bit of that, but let's be serious.
Well, let's also face facts. He is good at what he does, and he knows it. He's not what you'd call a real humble guy. But he backs it up, I'll tell you. There's a fly ball to center. Grissom is there for it. A 1-2-3 third for Wags. We played 2.5 from County Stadium this afternoon. Brewers still lead the Giants 2-zip.
The world can meet in the San Marino Grand Prix in Imola, Italy. Gets the power of Formula One racing coming Sunday, April 26th at 12:30 on MSC, your ultimate sports connection.
One away in the bottom of the third as Jeff Cirillo grounds out to Jeff Kent. So 1 gone for Orel Hershiser. Cirillo, Jaha, and Burnitz here in the third.
Well, Cirillo had the right idea. You take that pitch the other way, but right at Jeff Kent at second base. Kind of a big guy to play second base, isn't he? Out of your Davy Johnson mode, your Bobby Grich type player.
Yeah. Well, you're not often to see the kind of power productivity from the second base position that the Giants get out of Kent. A ball and a strike on John Jaha now. Orel Hershiser, number 6 in the active win leaderboard. 179 career victories. Grounded to short. Sanchez to Snow, 2 away.
Well, in typical Orel Hershiser fashion, only 1 out has been recorded. I should say, excuse me, 1 out has been recorded via the fly ball. Everything else, ground balls and strikeouts. That attributed to that good hard sinker that Hershiser throws. When it's working, a lot of ground balls. I'll get it right.
Yeah. Sounds good to me, man. Burnitz with 2 away. Can I throw some more trivia your way without giving you the benefit of seeing the answer first?
I'll try.
And we're going to play trivia a little later on, but I want to grill my partner here.
All right.
We mentioned how Orel Hershiser is number 6 in the active win leaderboard. Can you name a couple of those 5 guys in front of him?
Well, one of them's got to be Dennis Martinez.
That's number 1.
Let's see here.
There's another guy named Dennis. I'll give you a hint.
Dennis Eckersley?
Yep.
How about Clemens?
Clemens is there.
Okay.
2-1 to Burnitz, who swung on and popped up. My partner may be off the hook. Darrell Hamilton is there, and it's a 3-up, 3-down third against Hershiser.
2-0 lead, and early in the ball game, Phil Garner electing to put the middle of the infield back. If that ball was hit to third base, probably seen a throw home, but Valentin gets the easy play at first base, trade the run for the out. Well, there's the experience and some of the maturity of Jose Valentin coming into play. A couple of years ago, Jose might have tried to throw home.
Oh, and 1 on Brian Johnson. Singled in the second. That has run a hitting streak to 6 consecutive ball games. But what this guy means to the Giants, we touched on it yesterday. You can already measure it this year. Giants are 9-2 in games caught by Brian Johnson. It's more than just dramatic game-winning home runs.
Well, he's turned himself into a pretty good catcher as far as calling a game, working with the pitchers. You saw in last night's ball game his ability to block balls in the dirt. Sean Estes was all over the front of home plate last night. Johnson was blocking him with no problem. Got a pretty good throwing arm. That's what it takes from a catcher. Anything you get from the catcher with the bat is something that's going to be a bonus. You've got to have good, solid defense and a working knowledge of your pitching staff.
Here's the 2-2 from Wagner. We talked last night about how Brian Johnson is likely to stay in San Francisco for a while. Giants just love this guy. Certainly his tools have not been a mystery to anybody. He's been highly regarded as a talented catcher for some time, which makes it all the more amazing when you consider how many times he's changed uniform in his very brief major league career. Popped him up. Burnitz is there forward and right. And the side is retired. A run for the Giants in the top of the 4th, however. They cut the Brewer lead in half through 3.5 from County Stadium. 2-1 Brewers. You're watching Brewer Baseball on MSC. Fans, it's time for the MSC Have a Ball giveaway. Today's Have a Ball winner is Richard Lutsky from Menominee Falls. You've just won an autographed baseball from John Jaha. For your chance to win an autographed ball, send a postcard with your name, address, and phone number to MSC Have a Ball giveaway, Riverfront Plaza, 1110 North Old World 3rd Street, Milwaukee 53203. An autographed baseball will be given away during each MSC Brewers telecast in the MSC Have a Ball giveaway. We're having a ball this afternoon at County Stadium, 2-1 Brewers as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Fans here are having a ball this afternoon.
Nice crowd out here. Bleachers are sold out. A lot of people on the third base side of the grandstands hoping to get as much of the sun as they possibly can. First base in the shade already.
Not a bleacher seat left in the house.
Looks great, doesn't it?
God, it does look great.
What do you figure about 27, 30,000 today?
Probably a good number.
Like to see that every day, huh?
Fans have a chance to get into the bleachers tomorrow for $1 as well, as our Spring Madness promotion continues tomorrow. $1 bleacher seats tomorrow afternoon versus the Giants. And it's supposed to be another nice day out here tomorrow as well. Grissom, Valentin, and Jackson in the Brewers' fourth, up by a run. On the ground for Sanchez. To Snow, one away.
Shortstop, Jose Valentin.
Jose Valentin, the batter now.
Oh, another one of those sinking fastballs, and Grissom on the ground to Ray Sanchez, easy out. Only 2 fly ball outs today.
Orel Hershiser, 4-2 lifetime against the Brewers over 60 innings in 3 years. That's 9 starts he's made against the Brewers in his 3-year American League career. Last year, he was a perfect 3-0 against the Brewers. Some wild games between the Brewers and Indians last season.
Yeah, all that offensive success against Hershiser, and he's 3-0.
Yeah.
Gives you an idea what kind of offensive club Cleveland is, huh?
Boy, you said that true. Let me tell you, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
2-1 on Valentin. Hershiser's had a little bit less here at County Stadium as far as success is concerned than at Cleveland. Against the Brewers here in Milwaukee, Hershiser's 2-2, 6.07 ERA career. Not quite as successful in Milwaukee against the Brewers. Still 2-2 on Valentin. Jose was inserted into the ballgame late last night as a pinch runner. He got the night off as a starter. Mark Loretta got the nod at shortstop and drove in a couple of runs with a double.
Jose able to steal a base in that pinch running opportunity that he had his second of the year.
Three and two. Darren Jackson waiting on deck behind Valentin. One away, nobody aboard. Bottom of the fourth. Brewers on top of the Giants 2-1. Full count pitch home to Jose. Swung on and yanked. Foul.
Not a bad pitch by Hershiser. 3-2 curveball, and Valentin was all over it. He really does see the ball pretty well out of his hand, doesn't he? Doesn't matter what Hershiser seems to throw up there. Jose has a pretty good swing at it.
We'll try it again with the count full. Ball four. Boy, credit Jose Valentin. Something you've been talking about all season, Bill. The fact that he is so much more patient at the plate this year than ever in years past.
And you got to believe that's going to pay dividends. Not only the on-base percentage, that'll cut the strikeouts down, and it'll give you better pitches to hit. The better pitches you have to swing at, the better chance you have of getting a base hit. Average goes up, on-base percentage, strikeouts down. You're just much more productive at the plate.
Second time Valentin has walked against Hershiser in as many at-bats today. Third walk altogether by the Giants starter. Darren Jackson, the batter now.
It'll be interesting to see what Phil decides to do with Valentine at first base. You've got the bottom third of your order coming up. Not three guys that you would identify with as being big home run hitters. And Hershiser pretty quick to home plate. Brian Johnson with a good arm. Let's see if Valentine tries to steal a base.
Rounded through the hole on the left side. Valentine to the next station, and the Brewers have something going here in the bottom of the fourth.
Well, the three left fielders that Phil has gone with, Darren Jackson has certainly made the biggest impact. Made an impact defensively, and it's his second straight game with a base hit. Looked like a slider that stayed on the inside part of the plate, and he just hit it into left field.
So Mike Matheny now, runners at first and second, one away. Michael was hitless 0 for 3 last night. Ended a career-high 7-game hitting streak.
Well, here's one of those situations where your number 8 hitter has to expand his strike zone a little bit. You got the pitcher on deck. Try and drive the run in. That's one of the things that Phil Garner talked to Mike Matheny about during spring training. The mentality of being the number 8 hitter in front of the pitcher. Pretty good sinker there. There are times when you have to be patient and try and draw a walk. Other times you've got to be willing to swing at pitches out of the zone. And this is one of those times.
1-2 now.
Very similar pitch to the first one, a sinker. Unable to catch up with it.
Pitcher waiting on deck for the Brewers with one away. Matheny behind Hershiser, a ball and 2 strikes. Runners at first and second. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Hershiser just kept hammering that inside portion of the plate.
He threw it a little bit more inside each time and a little lower each time, and Matheny went after it. That pitch looked like it was starting on the inner half of the plate and really sank in quite a bit.
So it'll be up to Wagner now with 2 away. Valentine at second, Jackson at first. Sticking with the plan against Wagner as he tries with the inside portion, misses 1-0. Top of the order waiting on deck. This will be huge for the Brewers if Wagner can get aboard. He was a little fooled on that swing, I think.
Yeah, it looked like he wanted to check his swing, but he started the bat. When you do that, there's no turning back. That puts a smile on Wagner's face. I didn't mean it. One and two now. Hershiser has struck out 4 this afternoon. He's gotten Matheny twice. He got Wagner in the second, got Burnitz in the first. Wagner behind, a ball and 2 strikes. Hershiser out of the stretch. And in typical Orel Hershiser fashion, when men are on base, he really slows down. And nobody on. Orel Hershiser, a fairly quick worker, but when you have men on base, he grinds out a little bit, really stretches the ball game out, making sure of every pitch. But it's worked for him. Brewers right now are 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position.
That one gets away from Brian Johnson. Everybody advances 90 feet.
Well, that should go down as a stolen base for Valentine because he was running on the pitch. Not so sure about Darren Jackson, however. Valentine running on the delivery from Hershiser, bounced it in front of home plate. No chance for Brian Johnson.
Well, as you guessed, partner, They credit Valentine with a stolen base. Jackson advances on what is scored as a wild pitch to Hershiser. So now 2-2 on Wagner. Check swing roller to first. Snow is there. He'll do it himself. And Hershiser avoids any damage in the Brewer fourth. Brewers leave a couple of base runners through 4 complete. 2-1 Milwaukee. You're watching Milwaukee Brewer baseball on MSC.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Milwaukee Brewers Baseball Club.
We head to the 5th this afternoon. Brewers on top of the Giants 2-1. The 8, 9, then top of the order hitters for Dusty Baker's Giants: Sanchez, Hershiser, and Hamilton. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Brewers, a run on 4 hits for San Francisco. Brewers were the first to score this afternoon on Jeff Cirillo's 2nd home run of the year. Indeed, the Brewers had plated a couple of runs before recording an out. 2 hopped out to Vigna. 1 away for Wagner in the 5th.
Well, Wagner thrown a lot of first pitch strikes early in the count, and he's gotten a couple of ground balls out of him, that time right to Vigna.
One out for the pitcher now. Talked about how the bleachers are sold out this afternoon at County Stadium, as is the case on just about every weekend game. Number of Brewers donate tickets to various groups in the community. John Jaha has 25 tickets every Saturday and Sunday. It benefits the MPS Recreation Department. They're sitting on the first base side. Jeremy Burnitz has 30 tickets every Saturday donated to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Wisconsin. They call themselves Jeremy's Jacks. Jose Valentin has a group out here today, as he does every Saturday. Jose's Honchos. And Mike Matheny has 15 tickets out here today, benefiting Children's Hospital.
Trying to give something back. Nothing wrong with that, is there?
Nice to see it.
Yes, it is.
Full count on Orel Hershiser. 3-2 home is fouled away. One gone, top of the 5th, 2-1 Brewers. Out of the wind is Wagner. His full count pitch home to Hershiser. Popped him up. Fernando Vigna calling for it. 2 out here in the top of the 5th. Tomorrow's pitching matchup, a pretty good one. A couple of southpaws. It's Kirk Reeder for the Giants, guy who really came up big in the Giants' pennant drive last September. And Scott Carl to make the start for the Brewers. That is good news in and of itself.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse over there in Montreal. Threw on the side a couple of days ago with no pain.
Darrell Hamilton now. And for fans unfamiliar with what we're talking about, Scott Carl took a comebacker this past week in Montreal that if he wasn't able to get his pitching hand up in front of, it probably would have knocked him cold.
Yeah, would have hit him right in the face. Comebacker is a very kind word. That was a bullet right at his head.
Yeah.
Line drive. And when it first hit that hand, I thought he was going to miss at least 2 or 3 starts and maybe be on the DL for a while with a broken hand. But Scotty's going to be throwing tomorrow. Big break for Milwaukee. Jose Mercedes strained his right shoulder in yesterday's ball game on the bases, and according to John Adam, the Brewers trainer, he seems to be doing okay. And the Brewers dodging a couple of serious injury bullets right there.
No doubt. Boy, they call it a game of inches, and in the case of that batted ball back to Scott Carl during the week in Montreal, a game of millimeters. I mean, if that ball is a half-inch to the right or left, it might break the hand. If it's a half-inch up, it might break his nose. I mean, any one of a number of horrible things could have happened. That ball was hit so hard.
Oh, it hit him so flush on the side of that hand that it didn't even deflect and hit him in the face. That's how flush it did hit him. Could have easily gone off that hand, hit him in the face, and hit him in the mouth. We've talked about that enough. It's kind of weird, huh? You don't want to think about that.
Could have hit him in the mouth, could have hit him in the ear, could.
Yeah, okay.
2-2 on Darrell Hamilton. Pitch home from Wags. Swung on and lifted into short left. Jackson on the run. Gets there. Puts it away. A 1-2-3-5 worked by Paul Wagner, who is now retired 6 in a row. We'll go to the home half of the 5th. 2-1 Brewers. You're watching Brewers baseball on MSC.
Well, you're looking at this afternoon's Team Tires Plus trivia question. Who was the first Brewer to have 2 hitting streaks of 15 or more games in a single season?
Franklin Stubbs.
Maybe. I don't think so.
Gorman?
That's a good one. That might be Gorman. Cecil Cooper might be a pretty good guess. Molitor, yeah.
Top of the order in the Brewer 5th. Vigna, Cirillo, and Jaha here against Orel Hershiser.
I think that the year Molitor, 1987, when he hit in 39 games, he didn't get a hit in the 40th game, but then went on to hit in like 20 more. I might be wrong about that, but.
And of course, Gorman would be the guy that would have 2 15-game eating streaks during the course of the same season. Man who never met a meal he didn't like. Gorman's Grill is open and doing a rousing business this afternoon. Poked my head out there before the game today.
Good food out there.
No doubt.
Yeah. There's that parking lot smelled pretty good when we walked in today. Nice day for barbecuing.
2-1 on Vigna. Hot smash to second on one hop. Kent is up with it. Throws out his second base counterpart for out number 1 in the bottom of the 5th.
Third baseman, Jeff Cirillo.
Another hot shot off the bat of Fernando Vigna. He's swinging the bat well. Every time he swings the bat, he hits it hard somewhere. One hop at a right to Jeff Kent.
Here's Cirillo now. His home run in the 1st, still holding up. 2-1 Brewers. Bottom of the 5th. We talked about Orel Hershiser almost becoming a giant after he left the Dodgers after the '94 season. And it was an 11th hour decision with he and his agent. They had 2 offers on the table, one with the Giants, one with the Indians. Everybody in San Francisco thought he was signed, sealed, and delivered to come to the Giants that year.
No.
One of the problems, or one of the factors that led into his decision into signing with the Indians, was the fact that he wasn't really a popular guy in that Giant clubhouse that time. There were still some guys that really had that Giant Dodger rivalry embedded under their skin.
Huh.
And Hershiser felt like perhaps it was best for him to go to Cleveland, where there weren't as many Dodger haters, shall we say.
Wait a few years, maybe some of those Dodger haters will be gone.
That's right.
Come back.
Let it cool off.
Yeah.
Grounded to third baseman Miller. Throw to first is low, and it gets past Snow. Cirillo turning it on, heading for second. The throw by Kent gets past Sanchez. There's Cirillo to third.
Wow. Oh, that starts from a guy at first base that never lets a ball get by. Even JT Snow couldn't grab that one. Well, we've seen some erratic throws from the third baseman Miller over there. Nice play last night to catch a ball. This time a routine grounder. He winds up. Short hops to first baseman JT Snow, and it gets worse from there. Cirillo commits himself, and if you'd probably ask him after the game what he thought after he started to second base, He probably would have thought he was going to be dead, and he probably should have been. A bad throw from Jeff Kent. He ends up at third. A couple of errors on that play.
So the error on Miller allows Cirillo to reach. Then the error charge to Kent puts him all the way around to third. Infield will come in for Jaha now with one away. Boy, an unlikely gift. Brewers stand to benefit from that in a big way. Cirillo in scoring position at third base with one out. Jaha just looking for a fly ball here.
And as we talked about, this Giants ball club does not normally beat itself. Very solid defensively. Coming into the ball game, only 6 errors. They got 2 on that play.
Two and one.
Now, if you're going to bring the infield in to protect against that run, Orel Hershiser, a pretty good guy to have out there. He's throwing a lot of ground balls today. And that's what he's looking for here from Jaha.
Johnny looking for his first hit against the Giants in the series. 0 for 3 with 3 walks. That one gets through. RBI for Jaha. 3-1 Brewers.
Well, the error is going to kill the Giants in this inning. Hershiser got his ground ball, but nobody's standing on second base to pick up the hot shot up the middle. Good piece of hitting by Jaha. That's a pitch ordinarily you would think somebody would try and pull middle in, but Jaha pulls in the hands and shoots it up the middle. A good piece of hitting by Johnny.
RBI number 9 for Jaha this year. 3-1 Brewers. And a chance for more with Burnitz, the scheduled batter. And we have some attention being paid to John Jaha by Phil Garner and trainer John Adam.
Yeah, he wasn't running down to first base very well. Jaha looked like he was laboring a little bit. You already know about his problems with his neck, the trapezius muscle that he continues to get work on, but he wasn't running all that well.
Jaha will remain out there. Here's Burnitz now.
One way or another, the Brewers have to figure out a way to keep John Jaha in the lineup. There's no DH. He's got to be at first base. Just got to happen. If he's not in there, this team, I don't think, is going to be able to, or at least it's going to make it much more difficult to compete.
Well, here's some numbers to back that up. Just this year alone, with Jaha in the lineup, the Brewers are 9-2. Without him, 1-3.
Case closed.
And that's to say nothing of last year, all the games he missed.
Yep.
And now the Brewers really missed him.
A very important part of this lineup, John Jaha, number 3 spot. When he was out for those 3 or 4 games, the top of that order really wasn't the same. Tried to put Jose Valentin in there, tried to put Loretta in there one game. Johnny's the man.
2 balls and a strike on Burnitz. Make it 3-1 now. Marquise Grissom waiting on deck. From the stretch, the 3-1 fouled away. Now it's run full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Now, ordinarily, you would expect Jaha to be running on this pitch. 3-2, 1 out. Another sinker, and Burnitz beats it into the ground. Hershiser really not giving the Brewers a whole lot to elevate today. Keeping the ball down and a lot of ground balls, keeping the ball in the infield. I think Jaha was running to first base. You really don't expect him to be running on the pitch here.
Full count, 3-2, 1 away. A run in for the Brewers in the bottom of the 5th. There goes Jaha, and it's fouled away.
Playing possum, isn't he? He's already stole a base in the game. He stole second base in the 1st inning.
Still full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Boy, as you pointed out earlier, Bill, Hershiser really slowing up the pace here with the runner on. Works very deliberately when he's in a little trouble. Leaves nothing to chance. Marquise Grissom on deck, a former teammate. Both of them were 97 Indians.
Excuse me, man. I'm not so sure that that's the way he was when he was younger. You remember? He was with the Dodgers as a young pitcher.
I don't remember him working as deliberately with runners on base as we've seen him do the past few years. Orel will be the first one to admit that back in the 80s when he was in his prime, he was a different kind of pitcher. Fastball was bigger, the slider was nastier.
Well, he threw a lot harder. Same kind of drop on it, which made him almost unhittable. What was it, 59 consecutive scoreless innings?
Back in 1988, eclipsed Don Drysdale's record. In fact, there's a story there, because there was a rather controversial game that Hershiser pitched against the Giants. To add to the irony, it was the end of the '88 season, and a controversial call on a base runner leaving the baseline to break up a double play kept Hershiser's scoreless streak alive. Pitch to Burnitz is popped up short center. Long run for Darrell Hamilton. He gets there, and there's 2 away.
Center fielder, Marquise Grissom.
Hey, except for the home run by Jeff Cyril in the first inning, the Brewers have not had a lot of hard hit balls this afternoon. This time Burnitz on a fastball and 3-2 pops it up, and Hamilton has to make a running catch. And Hershiser's really been able to tie the Brewer hitters up today.
So here's Grissom now looking to extend the 12-game hitting streak. He's 0 for 2 so far. How does that not hit him? Wow.
Look at a curveball that slipped out of Hershiser's hand. There it is. Just ducks out of the way. Good thing it didn't hit the top of the bat, huh?
It almost sounded as though that was what happened.
Yeah.
Hershiser's already hit 3 batters this year. He started out that way last season. He hit 2 Brewers in a start at the Jake last April. That one bounces away from Brian Johnson. Jaha to second. Scored it as a wild pitch to Hershiser, his second of the afternoon.
Well, we've seen Brian Johnson make some nice blocks at home plate. This certainly isn't one of them. This isn't the way you want to go after a ball in the dirt. Just kind of throwing your glove out there, hoping it's going to go in. Try and get in a little better position than that, but as I've always said, the fastball is the most difficult pitch for a catcher to block. You really don't expect it being in the dirt. You call a curveball, you get yourself ready, and it's easier for you to block.
We're going to have a pinch runner here. They checked John Jaha a few pitches ago. He told him he wanted to stay in there, but he did not get down to second base with what we should call any comfort.
No, I mean, he probably wouldn't have been able to score on a base hit. And the way this game's going, 1 run can be very huge.
So Bob Hamlin is inserted as a pinch runner for perhaps the first time in his career.
Not exactly your Herb Washington out there, but pretty good fastball by Orel Hershiser. This is a 4-seam variety, swings right through it.
2 balls and a strike on Marquise with 2 away. To 2-2 now. Bouncing ball towards the middle. Kent knocks it down with the backhand. Recovers. Throw to first. Pulls Snow off the bag. Grissom is safe. We'll see how that one scored.
That was a good job by J.T. Snow to keep that baseball from going into the Brewers dugout. He realized the throw was offline, wasn't going to be able to keep his foot on the bag, and made sure that Hamlin wasn't going to be able to score. Kind of a funny hop up the middle. We still have not had a ruling, but J.T. Snow making sure the Brewers don't get their 4th run. Going to go down as an error.
So runners at the corners, 2 away. Dusty Baker out to chat with Hershiser. And the Giants have stood right-hander Steve Reed, the former Rocky, up in the bullpen.
Well, the thing that concerns Dusty Baker is the fact that Jose Valentin is the man in the batter's box. And he knows the history between Hershiser and Valentin. Want to make sure that he's on the same page with Hershiser. One of those don't give him anything to hit but don't walk him conversations.
So here's Valentin now. Runners at the corners. It's already been well documented what Valentin has done against Hershiser over his career. 5 home runs.
Well, the Giants have made half as many errors as they've made all season here in the 6th inning. 5th inning.
A 3-error frame for the Giants. You better believe that Hershiser's really going to nibble with Valentin here.
And Valentin knows it.
If he gets so much as a quarter of home plate, it'll be a mistake. Darren Jackson waiting on deck. Still nibbling, 2-0. Three balls and no strikes.
Wants no part of him. You see Jose a little bit discouraged. He'd like to get something to swing at. Well, he hasn't had a pitch to swing at all afternoon.
Grounded at first. It eats up Snow, but he recovers and gets the out on Valentin. So Hershiser pitches out of a jam. When you consider the defense just completely collapsing behind him, he avoids a bullet in the 5th. One for the
slider by Paul Wagner. That'll be strike 3. First out of the inning. Hey, Paul Wagner really making use of that off-speed pitch and that slider as this game goes on tonight.
Looks like Wagner's getting stronger. He's now retired 7 in a row and made very quick work of Bill Miller there.
I'm gonna bring up Barry Bonds, hitting .265 on the year, 0 for 2. Bonds has yet to get a base hit in the series. Change up for a strike. Ground ball to Hamlin. He'll take it himself for out number 2. So Paul Wagner really doing a nice job on the top of this Giants order. Barry Bonds remains hitless in the series, 0 for 7.
Well, the only hit between Bonds, Kent, and Snow all series was Kent's double back in the 4th. But the Brewer starters, Mercedes last night and Wagner this afternoon, have done a good job with that middle 3. They haven't given him too many early fastballs to hit. And Kent, Bonds, they're all looking for the early fastball.
That'll bring up the man you just talked about, Jeff Kent, a double in 2 tries. In for a strike. Now, the one thing that Paul Wagner's been able to do is get the leadoff out in each inning, except for the 4th, and that's the inning that the Giants were able to score. You get that first batter out, makes your job a lot easier. And 1 pitch down low.
Becomes a real guessing game with a hitter like Jeff Kent. Everybody knows he's looking for the early fastball. So the book would say beat him with curveballs and fastball counts. Well, Jeff Kent, aware that he's going to be pitched that way, is certainly going to be looking for curveballs and fastball counts, and it's going to be tough to fool him.
Yep, there's that fastball. Pretty good location by Paul Wagner, though. Pitch down, out on the corner. Only for Paul Wagner, your best pitch is your fastball, the sinking variety. You certainly don't want to be flipping up your second or third best pitch early in the count very often. 1-2 pitch. Line drive into left, a base hit. That's Kent's second base hit of the game.
Well, what were we talking about there? Curveballs on fastball counts? Whatever. Looked like Wagner threw him a curveball there, and Kent was looking for it. Waited for it to break about knee high and lined it into left.
Now pitching for the Brewers.
It looks like that might be all for Wagner today.
Phil Garner has gotten enough out of his right-hander, Paul Wagner, and going to bring on Mike Myers, a left-hander. He's going to face J.T. Snow, and then the switch hitter Stan Javier with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Brewers up 3-1. San Francisco 1 run on 5 hits, but 3 errors, all 3 coming in the last inning. The Brewers 3 runs on 4 hits and no errors.
4 throws a no-hitter during the 1998 home game. Will win the 95th anniversary.
We'll bring it back on Mike Myers' numbers after we return. Well, who's the first Brewer to have 2 hitting streaks of 15 or more games in a single season? Well, nice play up the middle by Jeff Kent. We talked about how big Jeff Kent was for a second baseman. Has pretty good range up the middle and a strong arm. Nice play. First out of the inning.
Shows great range to his right here. Goes nearly behind the second base bag. Then had to make the off-balance throw off the wrong foot. Getting it done.
Bring up Mike Matheny, who struck out in a pair of plate appearances this afternoon. Well, Hershiser has really done a nice job keeping the ball in the infield today. Only 3 fly ball outs all afternoon. Line drive down the corner. That could be extra bases for Matheny. It will. Larry Bonds picking it up in the corner, and Matheny's on with a 1-out double.
Well, that's got to feel nice for Michael. He was really frustrated against Hershiser this afternoon prior to that at-bat. Couple of strikeouts, looking in the second, swinging in the fourth when Hershiser kept nibbling over the inside. He gets a pitch up here above the belt in Matheny's wheelhouse, and Mike's able to stroke that into the corner.
Well, it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter for Mike Myers. The pitcher spot due up. That's going to get some activity up in the Brewer bullpen. Mark Newfield grabbing a bat.
Hey, what was the answer to that question, by the way, Bill?
Well, there it is, Darrell Hamilton. 1991, had hitting streaks of 19 and 15 games while with the Brewers. Darrell Hamilton, the answer to our Team Tires Plus trivia question today.
Batting for Myers, number 10, Mark Newfield.
Well, Mark Newfield gets an opportunity to pinch hit. Runner in scoring position. That's a big out. A big run out there for the Brewers, as Chad Fox is probably going to pitch the 7th. Newfield's been struggling so far in the early part of this season, and his at-bats have gotten better as the season has progressed. He's taken more pitches. Looks like he's a little bit more confident, but the base hits just haven't come. Hitting 195. Down low, 2-0. Good hitters count for Newfield. You look for something middle in. Try to get Hershiser to get something up in the strike zone, which he really has not been doing much today. Fastball right on the inside corner. 2-1.
Well, the few mistakes that Hershiser has made up in the strike zone, the Brewers have been there to answer the bell. Cirillo's home run, Matheny's double here in the 6th.
Ground ball just foul, third base side.
Well, you like your chances here for the extra run. with Newfield in the top of the order due up next. Vigna's got a hit this afternoon. Cirillo's already gone deep today.
Two and two on Mark Newfield. Pinch hitting from Mike Myers in the bottom of the 6th inning. Brewers up 3-1. And again, Orel Hershiser really slowing down the pace with runners on base. Down low, full count. Well, you'd certainly like to get Newfield on base somehow to get Vigna up and then give Cirillo an opportunity. Payoff pitch. Fly ball hit the deep center field, but that's going to be playable for Darrell Hamilton in left center. Makes the catch for out number 2. Well, Newfield able to give it a ride, just got under it a little bit. Only the 4th fly ball out off of Orel Hershiser today. He got a pitch to hit, just got under it.
And just a little out in front as he yanks it and pops it up. Looked like it was going to get a little deeper off the bat. Easy play for Hamilton in center, 2 away.
Yeah, one of the few hanging fort sinkers that Orel Hershiser has served up today. That'll bring up Fernando Vigna. Vigna 1 for 3 with a single his first time up today. Ball high and outside.
You know, there were a few games last year, and again, Hershiser went 3-0 against the Brewers in '97, in which it looked as though the Brewers had Hershiser on the ropes. Some early leads, and then Hershiser finds it, his offense comes back. The Indians were such a potent offensive team last year, they were able to do that.
Fly ball hit out to left field. Barry Bonds coming in and squeezes it for out number 3. No damage in the 6th inning for Orel Hershiser. They strand the double by Mike Matheny, and we'll go to the 7th. Brewers up by a pair.
Fans receive half-price Upper Grandstand Brewers tickets during Henry's Upper Grand Slam Tuesdays. Bring in a salad dressing label for an additional $1 discount. Call 933-9000 for details. 25,000 plus in the ballpark this afternoon, and so far they have enjoyed every minute of it. A 3-1 Brewer lead as we go to the top of the 7th, and another pitching change for the Brewers. On in relief of Mike Myers, who was done after a 1/3 of an inning, it is right-hander Chad Fox.
Well, Chad Fox has only given up a run in 1 game this year. That was in Atlanta on April 2nd in the Brewers' 8-6 win, making his 8th appearance on the year. 16 strikeouts in just under 11 innings.
Javier Johnson and Sanchez to face him here in the 7th. Chad Fox last worked on the 16th at Montreal. The day before last, he worked in 3 scoreless innings and struck out 4 against the Expos in that extra innings Brewer win. Javier's aboard a single to left center to start out the top of the 7th for the Giants.
You don't very often see a switch hitter
Catcher Brian Johnson.
bat left-handed against a guy like Mike Myers. I should say Chad Fox. A pretty good piece of hitting by Stan Javier. Inside out, pitch down and in, and just serves it out into center field.
So Brian Johnson now, and Fox will have to keep his eye on Javier. We talked about Stan Javier's outstanding stolen base success percentage over his career. Last year, only Tony Womack of the Pirates had a better success ratio. Womack stole 60 of 67 last year, a success ratio of 89.6. Javier was just percentage points behind him. A guy like Stan Javier has what it takes to be your perfect base stealing, base running coach. Guy without the greatest raw foot speed, but a guy who steals 20+ bases a year because he knows how to pick his spots.
Well, as you mentioned, he knows the pitcher's moves, know when to get a good jump. gets a good lead. Not just foot speed that gives you the ability to steal bases. It's knowing how to run them.
Ball and a strike on Brian Johnson.
Now, the pitch that has made Chad Fox so tough so far this year has been that slider. He lives and dies with it. Had a couple of big strikeouts in Montreal in extra innings. Man on third base, 1 out, struck out a pair on that nasty slider that he uses.
Popped him up. Burnitz and Grissom converging. And Marquise Grissom puts it away. 1 out for Chad Fox here in the 7th.
Shortstop, Ray Sanchez.
A pretty good fastball to a pretty good fastball hitter. Brian Johnson likes the fastball. He gets it up in the zone and pops it up. Boy, Fernando gave up on that one a little bit too quick.
So here's Ray Sanchez now with Javier still aboard at first and 1 away. 3-1 Brewers, top of the 7th. Brewers looking to make it 2 in a row over the Giants. 3 consecutive victories overall. We'll check the scores from around the National League a little later on. Big game at Wrigley Field today, as rookie phenom pitcher Kerry Wood makes his Wrigley Field debut against Hideo Nomo. They're in action at Wrigley, and we'll update you on all the scores a little later on. There goes Javier. A swing and a miss by Sanchez. Throw down to second, not in time.
One of the rare high throws by Mike Matheny. If you put that ball in the bag, which easier said than done, you're probably going to get Javier, but Chad Fox did a pretty good job holding him on. Fox, very slow delivery to home plate. Javier gets a good jump, looks in, and just under the tag. Ball beat him, but it was a little high.
Stolen base for Javier, his first of the year. It was thrown out twice last year, all season long. Already Javier's been thrown out twice this year. 2 balls and a strike on Sanchez now. So 2 balls and a strike on Ray Sanchez now. Speaking of the Cubs, Ray Sanchez with the Chicago Big League Club between 91 and 97. There you can see the correct stolen base total on Javier. Sanchez had some opportunities to play for the Cubs at Wrigley. Sean Dunston going down to injuries. The retirement of Ryan Sandberg apparently had opened up a window for Sanchez, but it seemed as though every time he had an opportunity, when either one of those 2 stalwarts went down, Sanchez also had trouble staying healthy.
Yeah. That's a bugaboo that hits a lot of young players in particular.
3-2 pitch, a little comebacker, tap to the mound. Fox gets there and throws him out, 2 away.
Throws a bullet over to Bob Hamlin. Almost knocked Hambone's glove off. That's how much confidence Chad Fox has in that slider. 3-2 in a situation like that, a runner in scoring position. Doesn't have to be perfect. You fool the hitter, easy comebacker. Watch the throw.
He can't help it.
Throw everything hard. Reminded me of a guy we used to have with the Brewers, Ray Searage.
Going to have a pinch hitter here with 2 away, and the pitcher's spot due up, Marvin Bernard. Bernard, one of the outfielders that Dusty Baker likes to platoon in and out of the lineup. Plays all 3 outfield spots, and he'll pinch hit here in favor of Hershiser. Marvin Bernard, born in Bluefields, Nicaragua. Made the opening day roster last year for the first time, first of 7 years in the organization that he was on the opening day roster. 2-0.
Not a whole lot of opportunities for young players here with this Giants club. Very much of a veteran ball club, and normally most of your bench players in the National League are experienced players, pinch hitters, good defensive guys. Marvin Bernard getting an opportunity again.
Did a nice job as a pinch hitter last year, did Bernard. 15 pinch hits for the Cubs last season. That was the most by any Giant bench player since Ken Oberkfell had 18 pinch hits in '89. Remember Ken Oberkfell later in his career going over to the Giants. 2-1 home, in for a strike.
Ken Oberkfell making his name as a St. Louis Cardinal. Pretty good slider again by Chad Fox. 2-1. Hitter sitting fastball. You can throw that pitch for a strike.
2-2 on the pinch hitter Bernard. Got him swinging. Nothing in the Giants' 7th as Chad Fox strands a base runner. 7th inning stretch at County Stadium this afternoon. Brewers on top of the Giants 3-1. Let's take a look at our Miller Genuine Draft National League scoreboard. Extra innings at Synergy Field with the Mets and Reds. Everybody in action this afternoon in the National League. Only one night game under the lights in the National this evening, and that's Montreal at Houston. See the Cubs making a mess of Hideo Nomo today at Wrigley. Kerry Wood spinning a shutout in his Wrigley Field debut. Jeff Cirillo will lead off the Brewers' 7th. Cirillo, Jaha, and Burnitz. And a pitching change on the mound for the Giants. On in relief of Orel Hershiser, veteran left-hander Jim Poole.
Well, Jim Poole in his 4th game this afternoon. He threw over 60 games last year with the Giants. One of 5 pitchers on the Giants roster to do so. Jim Poole in his 5th organization as a veteran left-hander.
So Cirillo, Jaha, and Burnitz. Brewers on top 3-1, looking for some late insurance. Fly ball to left. Bonds flips the glasses down and makes the catch for out number 1. They like the flip downs.
You don't see many players wear those anymore.
No, I love those.
Yeah. Did you ever use them?
Yeah, I used to wear those to school when I was a little kid.
You can't see anything but the silhouette of the baseball through those. Those are dark. You can weld with those glasses on.
Bob Hamlin, not Jaha, but Hamlin here in his 7th, as Hamlin came on as a pinch runner an inning ago. Cirillo, Hamlin, Burnitz here. We stand corrected.
We really haven't gotten a report on John Jaha as to the injury that he incurred. Hopefully it's not going to be serious, obviously.
Something about seeing players wearing those flip downs, I'll tell you. That reminds me of my halcyon days of youth. Think of flip downs and I go immediately to Bake McBride.
Yeah.
Elliot Maddox.
Tommy Agee.
Tommy Agee, that kind of player, exactly.
Yep.
Oscar Gamble with the flip downs. Doug DeCinces used to wear the flip downs at 3rd. Swing and a miss by Bob Hamlin. Strike 3. So here's Burnitz now. Here's your American League Miller Genuine Draft scoreboard. Boston has had a penchant for the late comeback of late. That's not the case today at Fenway as Cleveland wins it 7-4. A lot of home runs already between Chicago and Toronto. Sprague, Canseco, Thomas, Burnett sprays one into the corner and left. Bonds on the run. He can't get there as it bounds into the stands. It'll be a ground rule double for Jeremy Burnett.
Well, Jeremy really getting much better at bats against left-handers in the last couple of days. He struggled somewhat in Montreal against southpaws, but a couple of hits last night against Sean Estes, and now Jim Poole. He gets himself a double right down the left field line. A lot of hits down that line, Jeremy. Good piece of hitting. Slider out over the plate, down, and just goes right with it.
It's a long way to go for Barry Bonds. He couldn't quite get out there. So a 2-out RBI opportunity for Marquise Grissom. Still looking to extend the hitting streak to 13. He's 0 for 3 so far today. Foul, not by much.
It'd be a great opportunity to get one right here. Extend the hitting streak, get yourself an RBI. It's a big run out there at second base. Brewers had an opportunity in last inning. Man on second with 1 out, unable to score anybody.
Longest hitting streak of Marquise Grissom's career was in 1996 with Atlanta. He hit in 28 straight between July 25th and August 24th that season. So he's got a way to go just to match a personal best. Jose Valentin waiting on deck behind Marquis should he have 2-out success. Burnett's at second with 2 away. A 1-1 count, a 3-1 Brewer lead here, bottom 7. We talked about tomorrow's pitching matchup as we take a look at this swing from Grissom again, just on top of it, beating it into the ground.
That was a pretty good slider by Poole that time, and Marquise tried to get it before it broke down too much, unable to do so.
2 left-handers tomorrow. Scott Carl for the Brewers. Tough left-hander Kirk Reeder for the Giants. It's noteworthy that the Giants are 4-1 already this season against left-handed starters. That will be the matchup tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Ball and 2 strikes on Marquise Grissom. Jerked foul.
He's flirting those foul lines. First to right, now to left. He'll bang one up the middle. And Poole, one of those guys we mentioned in his 5th organization. He's been in the American League, National League now. 3rd year with the Giants. One of those left-handers that knows how to pitch. Mixes his pitches up, changes speeds.
Grissom wraps to shortstop. Sanchez is there to get to it and throws out Grissom at first. So nothing comes of the 2-out double by Jeremy Burnett. 7 innings of baseball in the books from County Stadium this afternoon. Brewers on top 3-1. You're watching Milwaukee Brewers baseball on MSC.
Those Jaha legs, I'll tell you. He's had a lot of problems with those things. The knee, the groin, the hamstring. Those hamstring injuries can be lingering.
For anybody. No question. They're tough to get over. Just ask Marquise Grissom about that.
Yeah. He was hampered by one of those things all last year.
And while never using it as an excuse, it really did get in the way last season. 3 balls and a strike on Miller. Full count now, 3-2. So hopefully Josh Jaha will be okay to be back in the lineup as soon as tomorrow. Again, removed as a precautionary measure.
No, he certainly wasn't running very well. I'm not sure exactly how he did it. Wasn't running to first base on his base hit.
There's ball 4 to Miller. The walk issued by Wickman. A run reward now for Bonds.
Well, you're just asking for trouble when you walk the number 2 hitter in Miller and face Barry Bonds with the tying run at the plate. That's the second time the Brewer pitchers have done that. Last night, Mercedes walked Miller on 4 pitches to pitch to Barry Bonds with the bases loaded and got out of it. You don't want to do that too often.
He's driven in more runs in the 90s than any other player. And here he is with a runner on and a 2-run deficit. Brewers on top of the Giants, 3-1. You need a refresher course on just how good Barry Bonds is, and you probably don't, but we'll give it to you anyway, as this is his first ever appearance at County Stadium. The honor roll is long and distinguished. But again, the Brewers get the best of him here in a situation where he certainly could put some hurt on you. Pops out to left. 2 away.
Well, if you're going to face the Giants, April's not a bad time to be facing him when you have Barry Bonds not swinging the bat very well. That's not going to go on all season. Fastball up. Normally a pitch that Bonds is going to drive somewhere, but he gets under it. Easy out for Darren Jackson and left.
Barry Bonds has now stranded 6 base runners in the series. It is 0 for 7 in doing so. 2 out now for Jeff Kent. He's got a couple of hits today. Miller at first with 2 away. Brewers on top 3-1. Wickman's last appearance came on the 16th, day before last at Montreal. He gave up a couple of hits, struck out 3 batters in 2 innings, and did a nice job to avoid any damage on the scoreboard in extra innings. Had to pitch with base runners both of the innings he worked that day.
Well, did Kent go? You bet he did. Larry Poncino didn't even need any help to make that call.
So 1-1 on Jeff Kent. Grounded to the left side and past Valentin. Miller to second. Jeff Kent's 3rd hit in his many trips to the plate.
Jeff Kent swinging a pretty hot bat.
First baseman J.T. Snow.
3 hits today after going 0 for 4 in yesterday's ball game. Sinker down in the zone, down and in, and Kent, like he did with his double, just golfing it into the outfield.
So J.T. Snow now back to the left side of the plate. He had an at-bat right-handed against Mike Myers in the 6th inning and lined out to 3rd. Runners at 1st and 2nd for him. Snow, like Bonds, is hitless in the series, 0 for 7 so far. But the decision to continue switch hitting lies solely with J.T. Snow himself. A lot of people have asked Dusty Baker over the past couple of years, when are you going to make Snow abandon hitting from the right side? And he said, hey, it's not my decision. That's up to JT.
It's his career.
Fly ball angling towards his stands. Cirillo has a beat on it, and that'll do it in the Giants' 8th. Wickman strands a couple of base runners. We move to the bottom of the 8th inning from County Stadium today. Still 3-1 Milwaukee. You're watching Brewers baseball on MSC.
Help the Brewers provide baseball gloves for their youth baseball programs. Bring gloves to Gate X on Tuesday, April 21st, and receive a game ticket for $1 for each glove redeemed. That's April 21st against the Dodgers.
Well, the Brewers have had themselves a lead today ever since the bottom of the 1st inning. They had a couple of runs without having recorded an out against starter Orel Hershiser. They have since added 1. It came in the bottom of the 5th. An unearned run against Hershiser in the bottom of the 5th inning. 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Matt Vasgersian, Bill Schroeder, and producer-director Wade Rowland. Glad to have you with us this afternoon on Midwest Sports Channel. We'll be with you tomorrow afternoon as well. A 1 o'clock start time for Kirk Reeder and Scott Carl in the finale of this series. Then a day off on Monday. And then the Los Angeles Dodgers in town to start a 3-game series on Tuesday.
L.A. Dodgers. in the house.
Man.
Vin Scully's going to be sitting right next to you.
I'm not sure if I'm ready for that. I will know officially at that point that I've got no business being here. Man.
Vin Scully.
It's going to be neat. It's been fun having John Miller and the Giants broadcast crew here.
A little bit of a warm-up for you, right?
Sure, every bit of warm-up. Valentine followed by Jackson and Matheny. John Miller and Ted Robinson. Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow, a couple of ex-Giants.
John Miller does a pretty good impersonation of Vin Scully.
Yes, he does.
Should have asked him to do it for you to kind of break you in.
Yes, he does. He does a pretty good impersonation of just about everybody.
Yeah.
Ball and 2 strikes on Jose Valentin now. Jose's walked a couple of times this afternoon. He's had 3 at-bats against Hershiser. Hershiser was pitching carefully to Valentin all afternoon, certainly aware of the track record between the two. 1-2 from Jim Poole, hit on the ground is short. Sanchez gets there quickly, 1 away.
Left fielder, Darren Jackson.
A good breaking ball by Jim Poole, and Jose trying to bang it up the middle. Sanchez had him played up the middle for the easy out.
Dusty Baker out to the mound, and he wants a right-hander. With a couple of right-handers scheduled for the Brewers in Jackson and Matheny, that will be all for Jim Poole. Poole is done this afternoon after an inning and a third, strikes out a batter, allows 1 hit, no runs. And they're going to go after right-hander Steve Reed with 1 gone in the 8th. The pitching change for the Giants. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Got Carl able to keep his teeth by deflecting one. This time a comebacker. Steve Reed with the sinker. Darren Jackson 1 hop. He gets the glove on it and makes an easy play for Jeff Kent at second base. Steve Reed's been very effective out of the bullpen for Dusty Baker. He's had 8 scoreless innings in a row.
You know, Reed's is an interesting story when it comes to his relationship with the Giants. He was originally signed and drafted by the Giants, made his major league debut with the Giants in '92. After some big save totals at AAA, he was possibly a closer in the future for the Giants. Then the expansion draft came along and the Rockies snared him. He pitched with the Rockies between '93 and '97. And he came back to the Giants, the team that broke him in as a free agent this past winter.
Very tough on right-handed hitters with that delivery.
A ball and a strike on Mike Matheny, batting with the bases empty and 2 away. Brewers on top of the Giants 3-1. We're in the bottom of the 8th today. We look ahead to the Giants' 9th, and they've got the 6, 7, 8 part of the lineup scheduled. Javier Johnson and Sanchez. Two and 2 on Matheny. Ball still in play as Reed gets to it and throws out Matheny for a quick 1-2-3 8th. Couple of Giant pitchers combined to get the Brewers in order in the 8th. We head to inning number 9. Brewers.
For all your golf action, see the best in the Midwest hit the greens at the Midwest Team Golf Championship. This weekend, it's Hazeltine versus the North Oaks Country Club. Tomorrow night at 9 on MSC, your ultimate sports connection.
We go to the 9th. Brewers go to the bullpen for their 4th time this afternoon and pull from it the stopper, right-hander Doug Jones.
Well, Jonesy pitched in last night's ball game, picked up the save, his 5th of the season in 6 tries. He 3 up, 3 down, 9th inning, 1-0, 3.6 earned run average.
Jones will face Javier Johnson and Sanchez scheduled. Javier made the final out last night against Jones, preserving the 5-2 win and save number 5 for Jones in the process. Javier knocked in the only run of the afternoon for the Giants with a ground out in the 4th and is quickly behind 0-2.
Well, a couple of good changeups from Doug Jones has Stan Javier way out in front. Never gets there.
Here's the 0-2 home. Sprayed to Cirillo. Great stop at the hot corner. Gets to his feet. Gets him at first. Yeah, baby.
Well, a big-time play by Jeff Cirillo. He's done it with his bat today. This time with the glove. That's a tough play for a third baseman off the bat of a left-handed hitter. He's playing toward the hole. He slaps it down the line. Boy, a heck of a play by Jeff Cirillo. Doesn't get any better than that. Nice pickup by Bob Hamlin on the other end.
One away, Brian Johnson now. Boy, Jonesy was a beneficiary of some great defense behind him. Darren Jackson last night made a great sliding catch in the 9th. And here to start the 9th today, Cirillo was there to answer the bell. 0-1 to Johnson, hit on the ground to Valentin, deep in the hole at short. The strong throw to first. They get Johnson by a step.
Well, they make it look easy, don't they? That's a tough play for Valentin. You've got to have a pretty good arm to make that play. It wasn't even close. This ball looks like it's ticketed for the corner into left field. Valentin sets himself and uncorks a cannon all the way on the fly. Nice play.
Well, as was the case not even 24 hours ago, the crowd on its feet in the 9th for Jones. Ray Sanchez, a batter. 25,053 in the house this afternoon. Bouncing ball, Cirillo to Hamlin. Ball game, baby. Doug Jones with back-to-back saves and back-to-back wins for the Brewers over the Giants. The latest, a 3-1 installment here this afternoon. Brewers have made it 3 in a row overall and have won the first 2 in the series with San Francisco. Final score this afternoon from County Stadium: Milwaukee 3, San Francisco 1.